Lawmakers are introducing a bill today that provides federal funds for the response to the deadly collapse of the Key Bridge in Baltimore. It's been just over 2 weeks since a container vessel crashed into the Francis Scott Key Bridge and sent it plummeting into the water. 6 people were killed. Since then, crews have been racing to clean up the massive wreckage from the bridge and reopen the port of Baltimore. CBS News congressional correspondent Scott MacFarlane is following all of this for us from Capitol Hill. So, Scott, what can you tell us about this legislation?
It's increasingly clear this is just a first step. This is a foundational piece of legislation Congress has formally had introduced here today. What it does is make sure that federal taxpayers pick up the tab of whatever recovery, restoration, rebuilding is needed, but with this caveat that if there's some company found liable for causing the crash and causing the collapse, they reimburse the taxpayers. So Washington gets paid back fully by whoever is found liable, potentially years from now, for what happened 2.5 weeks ago. 2 important caveats here, Lana. If the federal taxpayers pick up the tab, that takes the burden off the state of Maryland, which may not have the resources for such a massive reconstruction and restoration project, or even for its share of that project, but also it green lights all the things that need to be greenlit before any legal challenges are complete with those companies who may be responsible. So they don't want to wait years for the lawsuits to go to conclusion, for the litigation to end before they begin this work. So this legislation, introduced formally today, would help launch what needs to get launched in the weeks and months ahead.
Absolutely. We know that they have said that they cannot wait for that. So, Scott, let's talk about Republican Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, because you have been following her efforts to oust Mike Johnson from the speakership. He's made new efforts to try and appease her. Tell us what's the latest.
And we have very truly been following her as she makes her way through the Capitol, because she has this sort of Damocles over the head of the House Speaker. She is wielding it, threatening to go after his job, to get him demoted or ousted from Speaker of the House, but she hasn't said when. She says it's there, it's something she's leveraging, but she hasn't put a timetable on it. So we've been pressing her, when do you plan to do this, and why do you plan to do this? She doesn't answer the when question, but here's her explanation as to why, Lana. She says Mike Johnson, the Speaker, is passing way too many bills with mostly Democratic minority party votes. And in fact, he has. All those government shutdowns have been averted, overwhelmingly with Democrats joining the House Speaker and some Republicans to keep the government afloat. And she sees coming down the pike some bill to finally help fund Ukraine, to provide money and munitions. And she is making the argument he's likely to pass that with Democratic votes as well. And she's drawing a bit of a red line, Lana, saying that's something she doesn't support, that any number of other House Republicans don't support, and she doesn't want Johnson moving forward with that. So, Lana, we have this kind of binary situation where it's possible either Ukraine gets funded or Mike Johnson keeps his job. Quite a dynamic at play as Congress returns here this week.
I saw your social media post on that, Scott, making the analogy to a coworker dispute, getting a lot of people interested in understanding this conflict. Let's talk now, though, about FBI Director Christopher Wray, because he's testifying before lawmakers today. Talk to us about the purpose of this hearing.
Another one of those supercharged issues, Lana, another one that Congresswoman Greene says she has a dispute with the Speaker on. Should they and how should they reauthorize this bill that lets the U.S. government surveil against foreign enemies? There are concerns with some Republicans, including Donald Trump, that that bill may not be perfect. It may go too far. It may encroach on the civil liberties of some Americans. And those who've drafted this bill say, no, that's nonsense, that this is to surveil foreign enemies. But that dispute is causing trouble. Christopher Wray, the FBI director, is testifying as we speak, mid-afternoon here in Washington, that the FISA bill, as they call it, is necessary. It is necessary to keep America safe, that surveillance is critical to keeping Americans safe, and that all this gridlock in the U.S. House and these standoffs from Marjorie Taylor Greene to Donald Trump's criticisms jeopardize that foreign intelligence surveillance from expiring by an April 19th deadline. He says that will cause trouble, and he's trying to reaffirm that message testifying today. Lana, even the easy things, even the things that seem like no-brainers, have become quite difficult in this Congress this year.
Well, Scott, really quickly, in many ways, Marjorie Taylor Greene, the Congresswoman, is an outlier on these issues. Does she actually have the power to follow through with these threats?
She's an outlier on so many issues, but in a narrow House majority where they can spare only 1 or 2 votes on anything, any 1 or 2 people can cause dramatic problems for leadership and jeopardize the House Speaker's job. She is just one person, but needs just 1 or 2 colleagues to really leverage power here. That's the dynamic she and her colleagues are working in.
That's the key to understanding all of this. All right, Scott, thank you.